Boss Rush 900 Day 4. So we have a different first boss than we've ever had before today, which is going to be Lokholar. We fought Lokholar before, but never as the first boss. And Lokholar's biggest issue is that the blue ad on the fight, that troll that deals frost damage, it has a passive that makes them immune to freeze effects. So a large swath of our normal first boss strategies just simply don't work because you can't freeze the enemies. There are also fast melee attacks at as fast as 3 speed, in addition to frost damage coming at you. So whatever strategy you use, you're going to have to deal with both melee attacks and unfreezable frost damage. The easiest strategy for this is going to be a Deathwing Rattlegore strategy, but you're going to need to have your Deathwing Rattlegore leveled up enough to do enough damage. On level 900, with a maximum health anomaly, it's going to be in the ballpark of 7,000, so that would be around 184 damage on your Deathwing and hit points on your Rattlegore to guarantee on the highest rolls that you could beat it. You could obviously roll for lower anomalies or play on a lower boss rush level. The ads also have lower hit points, so there might be a possibility to just kill them with the combo and then drop an Artillery Strike Mercenary and bring Medivh to use a counter rune to clean up Lokholar. I'm not certain if that works out though, because you would need to find opportunities to deal damage, but you would have slowed Lokholar with Arfus. So I'm not sure if that one actually works. But any other strategy that's not using Deathwing Rattlegore, you would probably need either Arfus plus Khadgar to do infinite roots and slow the enemies so that Khadgar can actually root all those fast attacks. But then you would still have frost damage coming at you, and the normal way to stop frost damage or spell damage in general coming at you is to freeze those attacks, but that's not possible due to the blue's passive. So you would essentially just have to tank and heal through that any frost damage that there is, so likely rolling for low frost anomalies, maybe using Brand's frost resistance or something, but I doubt those strategies work very well. And since we have a good strategy here that does work well, I think that Deathwing Rattlegore is just the way to go for sure for Lokholar first boss. So to go over the comp here, it's a pretty standard Deathwing Rattlegore 2-turn kill setup. So we've got Arfus with Downward Dog, Rattlegore with Rattling Bones, Jaina with Ice Block. Deathwing equipment doesn't matter, we've got Resolve of Undying here, and then 2 artillery strikes, and their equipment shouldn't really matter, but I have Genn with Gillian Strength, and Rogers with Swashbuckling Sash in my comp. So let me just jump into it here. So it's basically just kill off Arfus and then destroy all life. There is one additional thing that can happen though, which is on turn 2, this Frostwolf Grunt can cast a Battle Shout that's a base 3 speed, so that would happen before your Destroy All Life. So you can summon a Water Elemental with Jaina to stop that if that does happen. And that probably will happen this time because he's using Horde Strength on turn 1. If you need the extra damage, you can shoot with your Rattlegore and your Jaina. Typically you just want to put everything into Lokholar because he's got the highest hit points if you do need additional damage. In my case, I don't need this extra damage, but it doesn't really matter if you do want to shoot it. And Jaina should always die here because of this triple swing from Lokholar. So that'll proc our Ice Block. Now we just bring out Deathwing and destroy all life. And if there is a Battle Shout from the Grunt, which I do have here, you can see that happens at 7 speed, then we want to make a Water Elemental. If he's not doing a Battle Shout, you can just do some extra damage with Jaina or not act with these guys at all. And again, if you need the damage, you can shoot with your Rattlegore, or you could just pass with him if you don't. So once we start the pattern here, we can go ahead and restart the client. And you should just log back into 2 Artillery Strike Mercenaries and Rattlegore and just collecting your treasures from them.
Where have your journeys taken you?
Okay, just jumping back in here. Missed once and hit. There we go. So for your artillery strikes, we are looking at 244 green on Xaril, 170 red on Azshara, 200 red on Raven the Hunter, and 180 blue on Babbling Book. Xaril has that 2 damage reduction from each of his adds, so it bumps him up to 244. So this is a reasonable farm day if you do have the Destroy All Life damage. And I think it's a bit worse, though, than day 3 if you do have your Drekthar Arcane Resistance equipment leveled up. So if you can do day 3 with the 3 Artillery Strike comp, and you have good enough Arcane Resistance that you aren't dying to Power of the Guardian very often, that one should be the best farm so far this week. But this one's also reasonable if you don't have Drekthar leveled. Also the Uther comp, which I didn't show in the video yesterday because it was actually mentioned in the comments of yesterday's video. That was posted by James Reese, I believe it was, and they said that if you just bring Arfus, Uther, and Rattlegore, it gives you the Divine Shield from Uther to stop Rattlegore dying to the Arcane Salvo reactivations. If you do use that comp, I've listed that on the day 3 video in the description and in a comment there. If you want to see which comp that is, it's a good alternative to running day 3 with no investment in this Arcane Resistance equipment on Drekthar. So that's this comp here. When you run this comp, though, ensure that your Uther is positioned after your Rattlegore in your party order or when you put your mercenaries in play. That way, there are some issues with Rattlegore and Uther dying at the same time or in a specific order where it'll mess up your Divine Shield and then prevent your Deathwing combo from going off because your Rattlegore will have a Divine Shield on him when the Destroy All Life hits him. But as long as you position in this order, that should work out pretty well, and that's also a good farm comp. So day 3 with that comp or day 4 with this comp are both good farms if you've not invested in Drekthar. If you have invested in Drekthar, then this one is probably your best bet here. There is a threshold for a certain amount of Arcane Resistance and Deathwing HP to make this win against Power of the Guardian on turn 2 often enough that this surpasses these other comps. I forget what the exact breakpoint was, but it was mentioned in the Discord yesterday, so you could join the Discord and either ask there and somebody could dredge it up, or you could scroll back through the messages and see what that was. But it's something like if the sum of your Arcane Resistance, which by the way is doubled, so this would be like 280, plus your Deathwing HP is greater than like 400 something, then it's worthwhile to run this comp instead of the 2 Artillery Strike version with Arfus. So in my case, the sum of those values was like 600 something, because I have 300 here and 280 here, so I was well above the threshold. So this is the best farming comp for me for this week so far on day 3, but these other ones are pretty good too. So everything's revolving around Deathwing Rattlegore this week, so it looks like we definitely want to be investing in that. The goal for right now, if you want to be able to beat everything with Deathwing Rattlegore, and this is not everything, but the vast majority of bosses with normal rolls and normal combinations of enemies, you want to be aiming for like 226 for level 900, and then we want to bump that up by like 2 additional points every week going forward. So I'm still catching up a bit since we did get a late start on discovering this strategy, but pretty soon I'll be able to get there. I think I need like another 10 or 15k, and then I'll be at 226, and then it's just like 15 to 20 runs maximum per week to keep up with it from there onwards. So in that ballpark anyway. So that's going to be day 4, and good luck on your runs.